The financial conspiracy you're already caught in. Picture this: you're working hard, saving what you can, yet your bank account never grows. The culprits? Not some shadowy villain, but the everyday purchases you've been told are normal. The shiny new car in your garage, the designer sunglasses in your bag, the dream vacation home you visit twice a year. These aren't just bad choices. They're carefully orchestrated traps, marketed as symbols of success, but designed to siphon your wealth to corporations, banks, and salespeople. The wealthy know this secret playbook and avoid it like the plague. In this investigative report, we're blowing the lid off 20 worthless assets that keep you financially trapped, exposing how they work, who profits, and how you can escape. This is your wake-up call to stop funding someone else's fortune and start building your own. What to expect and why it matters. This video is your guide to the hidden financial pitfalls that erode wealth under the guise of status, necessity, or opportunity. We'll dissect 20 specific assets, from depreciating cars to predatory payday loans, that drain your money through rapid value loss, ongoing fees, or crippling interest. Each section uncovers the mechanics of the trap, backed by hard data, real-life stories, and expert analysis. You'll discover the psychological tactics and marketing schemes that lure you in, the staggering long-term costs to your wealth, and practical strategies to avoid or exit these traps. Expect actionable advice like opting for used cars or canceling and used subscriptions, alongside wealth-building alternatives such as low-cost index funds. We'll also delve into the societal and economic systems that perpetuate these traps, ensuring you understand the bigger picture. Why does this matter? Because wealth isn't just about earning more. It's about keeping and growing what you have. The average American loses thousands yearly to these traps, money that could compound into millions over a lifetime. Billionaires like Warren Buffett, who drives a used Cadillac and lives in a 1958 home, prove that wealth comes from disciplined choices, not flashy purchases. This report empowers you to make those choices, whether you're a recent graduate, a mid-career professional, or recovering from financial missteps. By the end, you'll have a clear roadmap to sidestep these wealth destroyers and build a secure future. The investigation: 20 wealth-destroying assets. 1. New cars, the depreciation disaster. The trap: a new car's allure, sleek design, advanced tech, that intoxicating new car smell, is a financial landmine. The second you drive off the lot, a $40,000 car loses 15% of its value, about $6,000. Within 5 years, it's worth less than $20,000, a 50% drop. Financing makes it worse. A 6 to 8% interest rate over 69 months inflates the total cost to $50,000 or more. You're paying for a $40,000 car that's worth half that, a direct wealth transfer to dealers and lenders. The evidence: Kelley Blue Book reports new cars depreciate 20 to 25% in the first year and 60% over 5 years. Edmunds notes the average car loan term is 69 months, with interest consuming 20 to 30% of payments. Sarah from Chicago bought a $45,000 SUV in 2022. By 2025, it's worth $22,000, but she's still paying $700 monthly on a $15,000 loan balance. The marketing ploy: dealerships use zero-down financing and low monthly payments to mask the long-term cost. Ads tie cars to status and freedom, leveraging emotional triggers like the new car smell to override logic. Salespeople push add-ons like extended warranties, further inflating costs. The cost to you: that $40,000 car, financed at 7% over 5 years, costs $50,400 total. Invested in an S&P 500 index fund at 8% annual return, $40,000 grows to $186,000 in 20 years. You're trading $146,000 of future wealth for a depreciating asset. How to avoid it? Buy used cars 2 to 3 years old with low mileage. A 2022 Toyota Camry, originally $30,000, costs $20,000 in 2025, saving $10,000 upfront. Reliable models like Honda Accord or Mazda CX-5 retain value and often include warranties. If buying new, calculate the opportunity cost and negotiate hard. Dealers have 10 to 20% margins. Use cash or short-term loans to minimize interest. Ask: is this car worth sacrificing my financial future? 2. Timeshares, the vacation nightmare. The trap: timeshares promise a yearly vacation in paradise, but they're a financial shackle. The $20,000 upfront cost is just the beginning. Annual maintenance fees start at $800 and climb to $2,000, whether you use the property or not. Selling is nearly impossible. The resale market is flooded, with owners selling for 10% of their cost or paying to offload contracts. The evidence: the American Resort Development Association reports 9.6 million U.S. households own timeshares, with average upfront costs of $22,000. Redweek notes maintenance fees rise 5 to 7% yearly. Robert from Miami paid $30,000 for a Florida timeshare in 2018, tried selling for $15,000 in 2023, and got no offers. He's paid $12,000 in fees since. The marketing ploy: high-pressure sales pitches at free vacation seminars exploit dreams of family memories. Salespeople downplay fees, exaggerate resale value, and use urgency tactics like limited availability to close deals. Contracts are deliberately complex, hiding lifelong commitments. The cost to you: a $20,000 timeshare with $1,500 annual fees costs $50,000 over 20 years, assuming no fee increases. Invested at 8%, that $20,000 grows to $86,000, enough for decades of flexible vacations. How to avoid it: rent vacation homes via Airbnb or VRBO for $100 to $300 per night, choosing different destinations without long-term costs. If you own a timeshare, consult exit companies like Timeshare Compliance, but expect $2,000 to $5,000 in fees. Before signing any contract, ask, does this give me freedom or lock me in? Research resale markets on Redweek to confirm value. Invest the savings in an ETF like VTI for real wealth. 3. Designer clothes and accessories. The status mirage. The trap: a $2,000 Louis Vuitton bag or a $10,000 Rolex projects success, but it's an illusion that costs you real wealth. Luxury items lose 20 to 50% of their value instantly and carry a massive opportunity cost. That $500 pair of Gucci shoes, if invested at 8%, grows to $20,300 in 20 years. Buying on credit at 18%, interest doubles the cost. The evidence: the RealReal's 2024 resale report shows luxury bags lose 30 to 70% of retail value. A 2023 Bankrate survey found 28% of Americans with designer items have credit card debt. Lisa from New York bought a $3,000 Chanel purse in 2022. It's worth $1,800 today, and she's still paying $200 monthly on her card. The marketing ploy: luxury brands use exclusivity, celebrity endorsements, and limited edition drops to equate purchases with social status. Social media amplifies FOMO, making you feel inferior without the latest item. Influencers normalize overspending, hiding their sponsored deals. The cost to you: a $2,000 bag, bought on credit at 18% and paid over 2 years, costs $2,720. Invested at 8%, $2,000 grows to $8,600 in 20 years. Multiply this by yearly luxury purchases, and you're losing tens of thousands. How to avoid it: shop resale platforms like Vestiaire Collective or The RealReal for 50 to 70% off retail. Rent designer clothes via Rent the Runway for $50 to $200 per month. Follow the 1% rule. Don't buy luxury items costing more than 1% of your net worth. Invest the savings in ETFs like VO. Build wealth first, then enjoy luxuries without debt. Ask, does this purchase move me closer to financial freedom? For lottery and gambling, the tax on hope. The trap: lotteries and gambling sell dreams of instant riches, but the odds are stacked against you. 1 in 292 million for Powerball, worse than being struck by lightning. Americans spend $400 annually on tickets, money that could grow to $50,000 in 30 years at 8%. Casinos and lotteries profit by preying on hope, especially in low-income communities. The evidence: the National Lottery Association reports $80 billion in U.S. lottery sales yearly. A 2024 Urban Institute study found low-income households spend 10% of their income on lotteries. Sarah from Ohio spent $15,000 on tickets over 12 years, winning just $50 once. The marketing ploy: ads highlight rare winners, ignoring millions of losers. Slogans like "you can't win if you don't play" create false opportunity, masking near-zero odds. Casinos use free drinks and loyalty programs to keep you spending. The cost to you: $400 yearly on lotteries, invested at 8%, grows to $50,000 in 30 years. Over a lifetime, $12,000 spent on tickets could be $600,000 in retirement savings. How to avoid it: limit gambling to 1 to 2% of disposable income as entertainment. Redirect the itch to micro-investing apps like Acorns or Robinhood, where $400 per year at 8% grows to $50,000. Focus on calculated risks like real estate or stocks. If you play, set a $20 per month cap and treat it like a movie ticket. Research odds on state lottery websites to stay grounded. 5. Credit card debt, the wealth vacuum. The trap: credit cards with 20% interest rates turn small purchases into lifelong burdens. A $5,000 balance paid minimally takes 15 years and costs $10,000 in interest. Banks design minimum payments to maximize interest, ensuring you stay in debt. The evidence: the Federal Reserve reports $1.1 trillion in U.S. credit card debt in 2025, with average balances of $6,200. Dave from Boston's $7,000 furniture purchase cost $16,000 after 10 years of minimum payments. The marketing ploy: buy now, pay later offers and rewards programs encourage overspending. Banks hide compounding interest, betting you'll pay the minimum. Ads frame debt as normal, downplaying long-term costs. The cost to you: a $5,000 balance at 20% interest, paid at $150 per month, takes 15 years and costs $10,800 total. Invested at 8%, $5,000 grows to $21,000 in 20 years. Multiply by multiple cards, and you're losing six figures. How to avoid it: pay balances in full monthly to leverage rewards like 2% cash back on cards like Citi Double Cash. If in debt, use the avalanche method: pay off high-interest cards first while making minimum payments on others. Apps like undaybt.it track progress. Build a $1,000 emergency fund to avoid future debt. Invest $5,000 saved to grow to $21,000. Ask: am I buying convenience or debt? 6. Expensive degrees, the education debt trap. The trap: a $100,000 degree in a low-paying field like visual arts can saddle you with $37,000 plus in debt and no job prospects. Starting salaries often can't cover loan payments, delaying wealth building for decades. The evidence: the Department of Education reports $1.7 trillion in U.S. student debt, averaging $37,000 per borrower. Jennifer, a 2020 visual arts graduate, owes $60,000 and earns $32,000, barely covering interest. The marketing ploy: the college equals success narrative, pushed by universities and parents, ignores ROI. Schools market prestige, not job outcomes, while tuition rises 5% yearly. Alumni success stories obscure average graduate struggles. The cost to you: a $100,000 degree with $37,000 in loans at 5% interest takes 20 years to repay, costing $66,000 total. Invested at 8%, $100,000 grows to $430,000 in 20 years, a $360,000 opportunity cost. How to avoid it: research ROI on PayScale or BLS.gov before enrolling. Opt for $10,000 certifications in IT or data analysis, leading to $60,000 plus jobs. Start at community college, $4,000 per year. Apply for scholarships or use Coursera for $100 to $500 courses. If in debt, explore income-driven repayment plans. Invest $100,000 saved to grow to $430,000. Ask: will this degree pay for itself? 7. Boats, the nautical money pit. The trap: a $50,000 boat costs $5,000 to $10,000 yearly in maintenance, insurance, and storage. Use just 8 to 10 days a year. That's $1,000 to $2,000 per day on the water. Boats depreciate 10 to 20% annually, making them a financial sinkhole. The evidence: the National Marine Manufacturers Association reports 12 million registered boats in the U.S., with average annual costs of $7,500. Mike from Tampa's $65,000 boat cost $20,000 in upkeep over 3 years for 24 days of use. The marketing ploy: ads sell boating as freedom and status, ignoring costs. Dealers push financing, hiding the long-term burden. Social media showcases idyllic boating lifestyles, glossing over expenses. The cost to you: a $50,000 boat with $7,500 annual costs over 10 years totals $125,000. Invested at 8%, $50,000 grows to $215,000, a $90,000 loss. How to avoid it: rent boats via Get My Boat for $400 to $600 per day. Invest $50,000 in an ETF like VTI to grow to $215,000. Only buy if maintenance is under 5% of after-tax income, and you'll use it 30-plus days yearly. Consider shared ownership or boat clubs. Ask, is this experience worth the cost? 8. Whole life insurance, the costly hybrid. The trap. Whole life insurance combines expensive coverage with low-yield investments. A $500,000 policy costs $4,000 per year versus $400 for term life. Early premiums go to fees, leaving little value after a decade. The evidence: the Insurance Information Institute notes whole life premiums are 5 to 10 times term life costs. James from Ohio paid $40,000 over 8 years, receiving $30,000 when cashing out, while his agent earned $5,000 in commissions. The marketing ploy: agents pitch insurance and investment in one, hiding fees and low returns. They target families, framing it as responsible planning. Testimonials from satisfied clients obscure the math. The cost to you: $4,000 per year for 20 years totals $80,000, with $60,000 in cash value. Term life plus $3,600 per year invested at 8% grows to $155,000, a $95,000 difference. How to avoid it? Buy term life for $400 per year and invest the $3,600 difference in index funds like VO. If you own whole life, explore partial surrenders or 1035 exchanges with a fee-only planner. Research term options on Policy Genius. Invest $3,600 saved to grow to $155,000. Ask, am I insuring or overpaying? 9. Constant tech upgrades, the obsolescence scam. The trap. Annual $1,000 iPhone upgrades cost $12,000 over a decade, with minimal user experience gains. Tech companies use planned obsolescence and marketing to make functional devices feel outdated. The evidence: a 2024 Statista report shows Americans spend $400 billion yearly on electronics. Robert from Denver spent $14,000 on iPhone upgrades over 10 years, money that could have grown to $20,000. The marketing ploy: launch events and add highlight minor upgrades, creating FOMO. Software updates slow older devices, pushing replacements. Trade-in programs offer low value, encouraging new purchases. The cost to you: $1,000 yearly upgrades over 20 years cost $20,000. Invested at 8%, $1,000 per year grows to $40,000, a $20,000 loss. How to avoid it? Keep devices 3 to 4 years or buy refurbished for 30 to 40% off. Upgrade computer RAM/SSD for $100 to $200 instead of buying new. Research specs on CNET to confirm needs. Invest $1,000 saved to grow to $40,000. Ask, does this upgrade justify the cost? 10. Expensive weddings, the one-day debt. The trap. The average $30,000 wedding starts couples in debt, despite no link to marital success. Studies show cheaper weddings correlate with longer marriages. Social pressure drives overspending on a single day. The evidence: the Knott's 2024 survey reports average wedding costs of $33,000. Jennifer and Michael from Boston spent $5,000 on a 2022 wedding, saving $25,000 for a home down payment that gained $50,000 in value. The marketing ploy: wedding media and social platforms push grandiose ceremonies as proof of love. Vendors upsell with once-in-a-lifetime rhetoric. Influencers showcase lavish weddings, often sponsored. The cost to you: $30,000 at 8% grows to $450,000 in 35 years. A financed wedding at 18% interest over 5 years costs $42,000, $400,000 plus opportunity cost. How to avoid it? Host weekday ceremonies or use parks/museums to cut costs by 50%. Set a cash-only budget via Zola or WeddingWire. Research vendors on the Knot for deals. Invest $30,000 saved to grow to $450,000. Ask, is this day worth decades of debt? 11. Vacation homes, the second mortgage trap. The trap: a $200,000 vacation home costs $10,000 to $20,000 yearly in taxes, insurance, and upkeep. Use 2 to 4 weeks a year. That's $500 to $1,000 per night for an asset that barely appreciates. The evidence: the National Association of Realtors reports 1.1 million U.S. vacation homes, with average annual costs of $15,000. Karen from Orlando's $250,000 cabin costs $60,000 in upkeep over 5 years for 50 days of use. The marketing ploy: real estate agents sell family legacy and relaxation, hiding costs. Financing makes it seem affordable, ignoring long-term burdens. Listings emphasize lifestyle, not expenses. The cost to you: a $200,000 home with $15,000 annual costs over 20 years totals $500,000. Invested at 8%, $200,000 grows to $860,000, a $360,000 loss. How to avoid it: rent via VRBO for $500 to $1,000 per week. Invest $200,000 in an ETF to grow to $860,000. Only buy if you'll use it 60-plus days yearly and costs are under 5% of income. Research markets on Zillow. Ask, is ownership worth the cost? 12 high-end gym memberships, the unused luxury. The trap: a $2,000 per year gym membership often goes unused after January. Basic gyms or home workouts cost $200 to $500 per year, delivering the same fitness. Unused memberships drain $1,500 annually. The evidence: a 2024 IHRSA report shows 60% of gym members visit less than once a week. Tom from Seattle paid $6,000 over 3 years for a luxury gym, using it 20 times. The marketing ploy: upscale gyms sell exclusivity and community, with glossy facilities and classes. Free trials lock you into auto-renewing contracts. Adds Thai fitness to status. The cost to you: $2,000 yearly over 20 years costs $40,000. Invested at 8%, $2,000 per year grows to $80,000, a $40,000 loss. How to avoid it: join budget gyms like Planet Fitness for $10 per month or buy home equipment for $500. Track usage to ensure value. Invest $1,500, save to grow to $60,000. Ask, am I paying for fitness or prestige? 13 collectibles, the speculative gamble. The trap: collectibles like Beanie Babies or trading cards rarely appreciate as hyped. Most lose value or sit unsold, tying up capital. A $1,000 collection could grow to $4,000 in 20 years if invested. The evidence: a 2023 eBay report shows 80% of collectibles sell below retail. John from Dallas spent $5,000 on comic books in 2015, now worth $3,000. The marketing ploy: auction houses and influencers tout future value, creating speculative bubbles. Nostalgia drives impulse buys. Adds promise rarity, ignoring oversupply. The cost to you: $5,000 on collectibles over 20 years could have grown to $21,000 at 8%, a $16,000 loss. How to avoid it: invest in ETFs like VO. If collecting, spend under 1% of disposable income and research resale markets on eBay. Sell unused items to free capital. Ask, is this a hobby or a gamble? 14. Extended warranties, the insurance scam. The trap: extended warranties on electronics cost $50 to $200 but rarely pay out, as most failures occur within standard warranties. Retailers profit on low claim rates. The evidence: Consumer Reports notes 70% of extended warranties go unused. Emily from Miami paid $150 for a TV warranty in 2022, never needing it. The marketing ploy: salespeople scare you with what-if scenarios, pushing warranties at checkout. Fine print limits coverage, favoring retailers. The cost to you: $150 yearly over 20 years costs $3,000. Invested at 8%, $150 per year grows to $6,000, a $3,000 loss. How to avoid it: skip warranties and self-insure by saving $100 per year in an emergency fund. Check standard warranty terms on manufacturer sites. Invest $150, save to grow to $6,000. Ask, is this protection worth the cost? 15. Premium cable packages, the oversold bundle. The trap: a $150 per month cable package with 200 channels is mostly unwatched. Streaming services like Netflix cost $15 per month, saving $1,680 per year. Cable locks you into contracts with rising fees. The evidence: a 2024 Nielsen report shows 60% of cable channels go unwatched. Mark from Phoenix cut his $180 per month cable in 2023, saving $2,000 yearly. The marketing ploy: providers bundle sports and premium channels, creating a must-have illusion. Hidden fees inflate bills. Ads emphasize all-in-one convenience. The cost to you: $150 per month over 20 years costs $36,000. Invested at 8%, $1,680 per year grows to $67,000, a $31,000 loss. How to avoid it? Switch to streaming or free platforms like Pluto TV. Negotiate or cancel if locked in. Invest $1,680, save to grow to $67,000. Ask, am I paying for channels I watch? 16. Impulse purchases, the emotional spend. The trap, a $200 infomercial gadget or sale item feels like a steal but ends up in used. Impulse buys average $1,000 per year, money that could grow to $40,000 in 20 years. The evidence, a 2023 Slick Deals survey, found Americans spend $1,200 per year on impulse buys. Laura from Denver's $300 kitchen gadget sits in use since 2022. The marketing ploy, limited time offers, and one-click checkouts exploit urgency. Ads target emotional triggers like convenience or status. Influencers normalize spontaneous spending. The cost to you, $1,000 yearly over 20 years costs $20,000. Invested at 8%, $1,000 per year grows to $40,000, a $20,000 loss. How to avoid it? Use a 24-hour rule before buying. Create a $100 per month fund budget to curb impulses. Invest $1,000, save to grow to $40,000. Ask, do I need this or just want it? 17. Payday loans, the predatory cycle. The trap, payday loans with 400% APR turn a $500 borrow into $1,500 debt. Borrowers often renew loans, trapping them in cycles. Low-income households are hit hardest. The evidence, the CFPB reports 12 million Americans use payday loans yearly, with 80% renewing. Maria from Atlanta's $600 loan cost $2,000 over 6 months in 2023. The marketing ploy. Lenders advertise quick cash in low-income areas, hiding rates. No credit check appeals to desperate borrowers. Ads frame loans as temporary fixes. The cost to you, a $500 loan at 400% APR over a year costs $2,000. Invested at 8%, $500 grows to $2,100 in 20 years, a $4,100 swing. How to avoid it? Build a $1,000 emergency fund. Use credit unions for 10 to 15% APR loans. Seek nonprofit aid like Mission Asset Fund if trapped. Invest $500, save to grow to $2,100. Ask, is this loan a solution or a trap? 18. Unused subscriptions, the silent drain. The trap, unused apps, magazines, or streaming services cost $300 to $500 per year. Forgotten auto-renewals add up, draining money for no value. The evidence, a 2024 Rocket Money survey, found Americans waste $350 per year on unused subscriptions. Alex from Chicago canceled $400 in subscriptions in 2023, saving $1,200 by 2025. The marketing ploy, free trials and low introductory rates hook you, with auto-renewals banking on forgetfulness. Bundling obscures individual costs. Ads sell must-have content. The cost to you, $400 yearly over 20 years costs $8,000. Invested at 8%, $400 per year grows to $16,000, an $8,000 loss. How to avoid it? Audit subscriptions monthly via apps like Truebill. Cancel unused services and share streaming accounts. Invest $400, save to grow to $16,000. Ask, am I using this enough to justify the cost? 19. Luxury watches, the overpriced ticker. The trap, a $10,000 Rolex loses 20 to 30% upon purchase, with only rare models appreciating. Most sit in safes, tying up capital that could grow to $43,000 in 20 years. The evidence, Chrono24's 2024 report shows 70% of luxury watches lose value. David from Miami's $12,000 watch is worth $8,000 after 2 years. The marketing ploy, brands sell heritage and exclusivity, targeting ego. Limited editions create false scarcity. Adds tie watches to success. The cost to you, a $10,000 watch over 20 years, could have grown to $43,000 at 8%, a $33,000 loss. How to avoid it? Buy quality watches under $500 from Seiko or Citizen. If investing, research rare models on watch charts. Invest $10,000, save to grow to $43,000. Ask, is this watch an investment or a flex? 20 multi-level marketing products, the pyramid promise. The trap, MLMs like herbal supplements cost $1,000 to $5,000 to join, with 99% of participants losing money. Inventory and recruitment pressure create debt, not wealth. The evidence: a 2023 FTC report found 99.6% of MLM participants earn no profit. Susan from Ohio spent $4,000 on MLM products in 2022, earning $200. The marketing ploy: MLMs sell be your own boss dreams, using upline success stories to lure recruits. Social media amplifies hustle culture. Contracts hide recruitment focus. The cost to you: $5,000 on MLMs could have grown to $21,000 at 8% in 20 years, a $16,000 loss. How to avoid it? Avoid schemes requiring inventory or recruitment. Research via the FTC's MLM guidelines. Invest $5,000 in an index fund to grow to $21,000. Ask: is this a business or a scam? The bigger picture: a system designed to trap you. These 20 assets aren't random. They're part of a broader economic system that profits when you overspend. Corporations, banks, and marketers exploit psychological vulnerabilities like FOMO, status seeking, and hope. Social media amplifies these pressures, normalizing debt and conspicuous consumption. Regulatory gaps allow predatory practices like payday loans and MLMs to thrive, disproportionately harming low-income communities. Meanwhile, financial education remains absent from most schools, leaving millions vulnerable. The wealthy bypass these traps by prioritizing assets that appreciate: stocks, real estate, businesses, while the average person funds corporate profits with depreciating purchases. Data underscores the stakes. The Federal Reserve reports a $100,000 wealth gap between the top 10% and middle 50% of Americans in 2024. Much of this gap stems from spending habits. The rich invest 20% of their income per Vanguard, while the average household spends 80% on consumption per BLS. These traps widen inequality, keeping the middle class stuck. Escaping the traps: your roadmap to wealth. Breaking free requires awareness, discipline, and action. Here's a comprehensive plan to avoid these wealth destroyers and build lasting wealth. Audit your finances. Review bank statements for subscriptions, impulse buys, or luxury costs. Cancel or redirect $500 per month to investments. Use apps like a NAB to track spending. Calculate opportunity costs. Before buying, use a compound interest calculator, 8% average return, to weigh long-term costs. A $1,000 purchase could be $4,300 in 20 years. Build an emergency fund. Save $1,000 to $3,000 in a high-yield savings account like Ally for % APY to avoid payday loans or credit card debt. Invest early and consistently. Start with low-cost ETFs like VTI or VO via Vanguard or Fidelity. $100 per month at 8% grows to $120,000 in 30 years. Automate contributions to stay consistent. Seek fee-only advice. Consult CFPB certified planners for unbiased guidance, not commission-driven agents. Use NAPFA to find advisors. Educate yourself. Read The Millionaire Next Door or Your Money or Your Life to internalize wealth-building principles. Follow blogs like Mr. Money Mustache for practical tips. Challenge social norms. Resist pressure to overspend on weddings or luxury items. Surround yourself with financially savvy peers via meetups or online forums like Bogleheads. Advocate for change. Support policies for financial education in schools and stricter MLM/payday loan regulations. Vote for candidates prioritizing consumer protections. Real-world success stories. Emma, 28, Seattle. Emma canceled a $1,200 per year gym membership and $300 in subscriptions, redirecting $1,500 per year to a Vanguard ETF. In 5 years, her $7,500 investment grew to $10,000, funding a home down payment. Carlos, 35, Miami. Carlos sold his $50,000 boat after spending $15,000 on upkeep for 10 days of use. He invested the $40,000 proceeds in a rental property, earning $500 per month in passive income. Aisha, 22, Atlanta. Aisha avoided an $80,000 private college, choosing a $10,000 IT certification. She landed a $65,000 job and invests $500 per month, projecting $200,000 by age 40. Conclusion: your financial future starts today. This investigation exposes a harsh truth. The path to wealth is littered with traps designed to keep you poor. From new cars to MLMs, these 20 assets steal your money through depreciation, fees, and debt, fueled by marketing and social pressure. The wealthy avoid them, choosing appreciating assets and disciplined spending. You can too. That $40,000 car, $30,000 wedding, or $5,000 MLM startup could seed a portfolio worth millions in decades. Audit your spending, invest consistently, and challenge norms. Your future self is counting on you to act now.